Chancellor for less than a month. Today, Rishi Sunak held quite the responsibility.
Are you ready for a coronavirus crash, Chancellor?
The focus, not just on what's inside his red box, but whether this budget can help contain the coronavirus. His car may have crawled to the Commons.
Mr. Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yeah! But once he'd arrived, there was no mistaking the emergency.
I want to get straight to the issue most on everyone's mind. Coronavirus COVID-19. I know how worried people are. Worried about their health, the health of their loved ones, their jobs, their income. Let me say this. We will get through this together.
With several MPs already in self-isolation, the rest crowded in together to hear about the squeeze on our economy.
Up to a fifth of the working age population could need to be off work at any one time. And business supply chains are being disrupted around the globe. The combination of those effects will have a significant impact on the UK economy. For a period, it's going to be tough, but I'm confident that our economic performance will recover.
Until then, the government will spend £30 billion treating the economic symptoms.
Together we are taking action that is coordinated, coherent and comprehensive. And let me now set out our three-point plan.
Firstly, the NHS will get £5 billion of emergency funding, with more available if necessary. Secondly, employees forced to self-isolate will get statutory sick pay from day one, even if they don't have symptoms. The self-employed and those on 0 hours contracts will get more help through the benefit system. And thirdly, businesses will be reimbursed for some of their losses and get access to more loans.
Look, you've seen the market reaction there.
Earlier, the Chancellor met the Governor of the Bank of England as he took action too, cutting interest rates back down to historic lows as the markets continue to crash.
The MPC is reducing bank rate by 0.5% to 0.25%. This action will help support net cash flows of borrowers during a period in which economic activity is likely to be disrupted.
But as the emergency meetings continued to try and contain the virus, the rest of today's budget was hardly about restraint. The kind of spending even Labour could smile upon as the Tories turned on the taps.
Madam Deputy Speaker, over the next 5 years, we will invest more than £600 billion in our future prosperity.
Road and rail, house building and broadband, many of these measures will be paid for by borrowing.
National insurance cut, the tampon tax abolished, spirits duty frozen, beer duty frozen, wine and cider duty frozen, fuel duty frozen. We promised record funding for our NHS and public services. This budget gets it done. This government delivers its promises and gets things done.
The government's boast of the biggest investment since the 1950s is frankly a sleight of hand. The talk of levelling up is a cruel joke. An admission that austerity has been a failed experiment.
Criticism too from the Conservative backbenches as the party breaks with Prime Minister's past.
Spending a lot of money may be popular and may seem the natural thing to do. There is, of course, that necessity of having a realistic assessment of the longer-term impact of those decisions, the longer-term consequences.
But this is a government less worried about debt than the votes it's borrowed from Labour.
You told us for a decade you've got to balance the books, you put people through that pain, and now you're saying actually it's fine, let's spend a load of money.
Well, the decade of growth that this budget unlocks is a result of us getting the deficit under control. And I think the key thing, Paul, is over the course of this Parliament, the percentage of debt to GDP comes down throughout the Parliament.
But however red today's budget box proves to be, it'll be remembered most of all as a warning, less about the spreading of cash than the coronavirus. Paul Brand, News at 10, Westminster.